Hey guys, M2 Collector here with another figure review. Next up is the Hasbro Marvel Legends series Walgreens exclusive supervillains Baron Zemo. So before we get into it, no, I did not find this at my local Walgreens. It has not shipped out. It wasn't available online. None of that. Walgreens has not gotten. Canada hasn't even gotten this. But some of the Asian markets and the UK actually got it. So I actually ordered this along with a few other folks. You know, the Wade crew and my buddy Spawn Toys. We put in a bulk order through Star Action Figures based in the UK. They had posted that, hey, we're going to have these in stock next week or whatever. So we kind of grouped together, put in a bulk order to have it shipped over because they do ship internationally. So they ship to the US. And we were able to kind of, you know, it works out a deal. You only pay so much. It ended up being like 30 bucks a figure or whatever, which is about what you would expect to pay now retail plus shipping. So we actually made out pretty good. So I have Baron Zemo here. No telling when he'll show up at Walgreens. I don't even have the binary figure. I will have one soon thanks to Caster's Corner and casterscorners.com and on Instagram and Twitter. I'll have binary soon, but the Walgreens exclusives, it's been a funny story over the last year. You know, first it was Nova, then Quasar, binary, and now Baron Zemo. And they're just not showing up at Walgreens. You know, Nova took forever and it was pretty difficult to find. Quasar's kind of hitting here and there. It became available online. People are kind of finding it in stores. Binary now in stores on the East Coast, Northeast. So all kinds of crazy stuff. So that's why we kind of put in to get it from the UK, because we didn't want to wait on it. We don't know when it's going to come or anything like that. And it's an awesome figure, and he's going to pair up super nice with the unparalleled cap, the Toy Biz Series 1 Anniversary Captain America, which I don't have yet, which we will have actually shortly in the next day or two. We will have that. We did a bulk order for that one as well. And then we also have it coming from my good friend over at toysnowman.com. We have an order of the unparalleled cap coming from there as well. But anyway, Baron Zemo, the Walgreens exclusive theme this year is going to the supervillain. So we had that wave last year, the Zemo Build-A-Figure. This year, Walgreens supervillain. So we have Baron Zemo. Next is going to be Jigsaw, of course, and then who knows what the third or fourth, depending on how many they do, will be. But anyway, we'll get right to it. So we have the green and purple colors of the supervillains wave. We have the artwork of Helmut, Baron Zemo there, looking very cool. Here on the back of the package, we get a better look at it, and it does look awesome. And Baron Zemo's bio reads, "Born into greatness and great darkness, Helmut Zemo is a man of terrific and terrible genius. The 13th Baron Zemo has sworn everlasting vengeance against his family's nemesis, Captain America." So that's pretty crazy. Let's get him out of the box. Okay, and here's Baron Zemo out of the package, and he's a really good one. He's a fun one. It looks like we kind of got a bunch of different parts and stuff that have been reused, but there are some obvious new things. So his belt, the head sculpt, the torso is actually new, and some things like that. But it's a very fun one. It's very classic looking, so it's actually done really nice. And there's some cool things about it that I didn't realize, you know, before I had gotten the figure and whatnot. I will do a better side-by-side comparison of the previous Baron Zemo figure that we got in the Mandroid Build-A-Figure wave. I think he was kind of the, not the variant, but the other one to the Agents of Hydra, or was it the Soldiers of a.i.m? Hydra soldiers. There was two, right? There was Red Skull and Zemo, I think, and then there was the a.i.m trooper and Zemo. No. Oh, it was the Hydra soldier and Red Skull, and then it was the a.i.m trooper and Zemo. So that's how old this figure is. I think this figure still holds up. I actually still really like this figure. This one's way better, of course. But this one's still a pretty good one. I think he has a very good look to it. It's just not, you know, classic Zemo look, which this thing looks awesome. The head sculpt is really, really nice. I really like it. And they even painted the lines on his arm, his gloves, and the hands. So that is really cool. So let's get in for a closer look at Zemo's few accessories, the sword and the hands, and then we'll take a closer look at the figure. Okay, so Zemo actually comes with this sword, and it's painted well for the most part. The blade is a nice silver metallic color there, and that does look really good. The hilt is a brown color, and then the plastic that they use is this golden yellow, like metallic looking plastic. The problem with it is it looks like translucent the way it looks, so it comes off a little cheap looking. I see what they were going for. They were going for like probably a goldish color, but the golden metallic plastic, it just looks too thin and translucent. Paint would have been better, but you know, I guess it is what it is at this point. It is the same sword that came with the previous Mandroid Wave Zemo, so there is no difference there, although you can see the paint is applied nicely as my silver paint was chipping off of that one. And then this hilt actually got paint, whereas this one didn't. But see this yellow, like metallic color? This would have been better than this one, in my opinion. I just don't like the way it looks, and I think it's something that you have to have in hand to really understand what I'm talking about. It's kind of like that cheap gray that I absolutely hate, how it looks kind of semi-translucent. That's how this yellow looks, so that's a little unfortunate. And then we get a couple of hands. So he has these two grip hands here that you could use for the sword, but check out the painted lines on the back of the gloves to match the wrists there, so that does look really good. Now, one thing that's kind of odd is we have the open gripping hand here for his right hand, but we kind of also have that already. I mean, you can use it as a trigger finger, kind of. I mean, the finger, his index finger isn't really separated, but this one has the better wrist hinge for using a sword or even for a gun. So it's just kind of odd that we get those two hands, whereas on the left we got a fist, which makes sense, and then another grip hand for the left. So it's weird that we didn't get a fist for the right, but you know, it is what it is. But taking a closer look at the figure, here is Zemo, and look at that head sculpt. That looks fantastic. The wrinkles right here over his eyes, around his nose, that just looks fantastic. And I love the darker purple lines that they did. They're sculpted in and then they painted them. That came out looking fantastic. A nice silver color for the eyes, and you actually see a little bit of shadow effect around those eyes. Man, that head sculpt is fantastic. I really, really like it. And then this headdress portion here, like these are separate pieces glued into the head, and it's that same semi-translucent plastic that the sword is made out of. So it looks kind of weird, but as the rest of it, that's painted gold, and you could see the difference. The gold paint goes a long way. So that would be the only nitpick that I'm going to have for this figure. And aside from this being not a painted gold, you kind of get the same effect here where it's, you know, it's the metallic look to it. It looks kind of translucent, but it still looks really good. This collar piece here, we get all those painted lines in the sculpt of it as well. Just looks really, really good. We get this animal print here, and those are just kind of spot painted on there. Looks kind of weird, like they may, you know, they should have put a spot or two right there. But overall, that looks really good. None of this hinders the articulation at all. It'll move with the arm, so that is really cool. It's like a separate piece in there. You can kind of move it around. You got this big belt portion thing. I never understood what this is, but I mean, it's comic accurate. He has this little portion here, but that looks okay. That's not removable. You would have to cut it off if that's what you want to do. And then come down to the furry parts of his boots, get that same animal print, and that looks pretty good. And then just yellow boots there. These look like Bucky Cap legs to me. The torso is new. These look like the Red Skull Dormammu arms, so no pins on the elbows, but we got pins on the knees. The good thing about this is he doesn't have the tiny Bucky Cap feet, so you know, looking at it, you know, they may have this, they may share the same legs, but they do not share the same feet. As you can see, Bucky Cap feet were teeny tiny, and I always hated that. So he stands up well and won't fall down. But a very, very good looking figure. Let's see how he moves. Okay, so Zemo can look down that much. His head is on a dumbbell joint, so he can look down that much. He can look up that much, so that is actually pretty good. So they did that right, where sometimes you can't really get them to look up. He can look up quite a bit, and he's got all kinds of attitude and everything when you could do the head tilt there. Full swivel, of course. The arms you can get to go out that much. You get a full rotation in there, and again, as you can see, the animal fur print will move with that shoulder. Upper bicep swivel in there. Double jointed elbow, and it is the pinless elbow, the same that came with Red Skull and Dormammu, so the cuts actually look pretty ugly, but when, you know, kind of straightened out, it does look really good. So there, Wrists swivel, and they do hinge. All the hands have the standard horizontal hinge, except for the right hand that comes out of the package. He has the vertical hinge for wielding the sword, which is good. So ab crunch on this guy, he can crunch forward that much, and as you can see, this portion will kind of bend with it, so it doesn't hinder the articulation at all. He can go back that much, but you can see it'll kind of flare out, but it'll go back on its own. There is a waist swivel in there. You may have to kind of adjust that belt a little bit to be able to get him to turn certain ways. Legs go out that far apart. He can kick forward that high. Leg doesn't really go back. Upper thigh cut in there. Double jointed knee like so. Again, these do have pins as opposed to the elbows. Boot swivel at the top of the fur. Foot hinges all the way down. Hinge up, ankle pivot, peg holes at the bottom of the feet. So good articulation. Even though like some of it is bucky cap with the legs were never a problem for me on the bucky cap. It was always the feet. So you know that's not a problem for me. The use of the arms makes sense. And then we get that new torso, but he looks really, really good. Here are the two Baron Zemo figures side by side. One of these days, Bucky Cap will be gone completely. For now, he's semi-retired as he will make sporadic appearances here and there and not used as often as we see with the new Vulcan figure coming out that will be replacing this body. But some of the older Bucky Cap figures just were a little loose kind of thing. You know, that's not something that you're going to see with these new figures at all. There's no movement there. Nice tight joints. So that is good. Both versions of Zemo look pretty good. I mean, there's kind of a bit of a height difference. But this, I really like this look. It was a more modern look, whereas this is the classic look. But this one is the better figure for a number of reasons. It's newer, so you get all kind of the updated things that comes with it. But that classic look, the head sculpt is freaking awesome. The purples aren't going to match. So I know people are going to be like, well, can you do a head swap? And I guess I'll do it, but, you know, the purples aren't going to match. Ooh, I did not like the way that sounded with these older figures. And it doesn't really pop on there. As you can see, it's too high, and I don't want to force it down too much. But the colors just really, really don't match. So that is a no-go on that one. But you guys let me know down in the comments below, which Zemo figure do you think looks better? Do you like this newer Walgreens exclusive, or do you actually like the Mandroid Wave version, which I think is still a pretty good figure, just not as good of a figure? Okay, and here is Zemo and Captain America face to face and side by side. You can see Captain America is a little bit taller. He's kind of leaning a little bit. Can't wait to get my unparalleled cap. I will have that looking like Saturday. I will have it, so I'm very excited for that because these two will look really good once we get a more classic looking Captain America, and by classic I mean kind of that brighter blue color to really match up with Zemo, and I think that'll be really cool. Okay, and that is my review of the Baron Zemo figure. I am extremely happy with it. I think it looks fantastic. Hasbro absolutely killed it on this figure just because that head sculpt alone and how they painted the lines on the collar piece, the mask, as well as the gloves. The classic look, looking awesome. A gun would have been cool or something to come with, but he does come with the sword, so that is nice. Even though it is a reuse of the sword, he does look really, really good. It's being a Walgreens exclusive. Hopefully everyone can get their hands on it. I know it's been tricky and there's a lot of frustration, so hopefully by the time Baron Zemo will hit the US, it'll be fairly easy to obtain. I'm surprised at this point Canada hasn't gotten it yet. It seems to only be, overseas in like the Philippines, Singapore, Taiwan, and then the UK, which seem to get quite a few things before us right now as well. But again, I got mine from Star Action Figures. I don't know if it's .co.uk or whatever it is, but I'll have a link in the video description below. You guys can check it out. It is sold out now. It pre-sold out, so we were able to get a pre-order in before they had sold out of the pre-orders. So that was pretty cool. It took about a week to get here, whereas Unparalleled Cap seems to be taking twice as long because that shipped out a week before this guy, but this guy has shown up now, which is pretty crazy. But an awesome figure. You guys let me know in the comments below. What do you think of the Baron Zemo figure? I think it's great. Which one do you prefer? The older one from the Mandroid Wave or this new one? Let me know in the comments below. If you guys like this video, please do me a favor and hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you haven't already done so. And as always, thank you for watching.